I am Jason Abraham, the Shadow Teacher, 33. It's been a while since I've done a Shadow Teacher film analysis or a film insight, kind of looking into the hidden messages of a piece of art like a movie. And it's no secret, I grew up a comic book nerd. But with corporate culture, as it always goes, when something gets to be a hit, then the parasitic corporate reptilians at the top want to keep pushing out more of the same. And so at one time I loved superhero movies, but in the current day I feel like they're a bit oversaturated. But I'm glad I took the time to watch this movie I'm talking about in this video, that being Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, because there are so many relevant elements in this movie in regards to the hero's journey, universal human archetypes, ancient spiritual narratives, the narratives of Gnosticism, as well as some good old modern day conspiracy. And this particular movie, the big story arc revolves around the character Rocket the raccoon, the genetically modified raccoon. And the villain of this particular movie is a highly intelligent, brilliant human who calls himself the High Evolutionary. And I remember reading about the High Evolutionary in Marvel Comics and this kingdom he created of his own called Wundagore. Kingdom that was highly advanced of these genetic experiments. And this geneticist, the High Evolutionary, is not satisfied with creation as it is. In fact, he feels it's flawed. He feels that creation through God, through Source, is imperfect, and he can do it better. So with his brilliance, he experiments. He takes animals and beings outside of nature and he modifies them. He takes them from what they were and he makes them into something else with genetic modification, with the intent to remove all the imperfection which he sees in the natural world. He wants to take all the evil out of the world. He thinks he's the good guy. He thinks that he can make a world that is free of crime, of any kind of dark, negative act of violence through human, through animal, and that's his mission. And the thing is, when he fails, or when he sees himself as failing, when he makes a new world, but he sees imperfection in it, a world he's made of sentient beings at this point, he wipes it out. He kills them. He destroys them. And he starts over again with no regards whatsoever to the feelings of these beings. And if you look to the tales of Gnosticism, it's the tale, again, where the earth, the god of this earth in the Gnostic tale is a false god. Yaldabaoth, the Demiurge, the architect. It's a flawed being that is rebelling against creation, against the natural creation, and he creates his own world. This is the story of the Matrix, too. And in the Gnostic tales, the Christ figure rebels against the God of the world. The Gnostic Christ you see in the Matrix is Neo. The Gnostic Christ in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is Rocket Raccoon. And you see this, you see from the beginning, he dies essentially, he descends to the underworld, and then he comes back. He's resurrected at the end, and he saves all the creation that is left when this High Evolutionary, when this Demiurge is wanting to repeat the cycle and destroy creation once again. And this theme again of resetting creation. Does that sound familiar? Great resets? Does that sound like a theme that may be buzzing today? This theme of modifying genetics, of evolving the species, not just humanity, of the world through this genetic modification, and feeling that you and what's guiding you is of good. And it's a very controversial subject. It's a very controversial concept right now, but this is front and center in this Guardians of the Galaxy movie. And again, the mad scientist, the high evolutionary, he's the villain. He's clearly portrayed as evil in this movie. And the Gnostic tale, once again, going back to that, is that even though the world of the Demiurge is created and humanity created by the Demiurge is created by him, humanity still has the spark of God, the spark of consciousness, the spark of creation within us. And again, the Gnostic Christ, the Savior figure that resurrects and rebels, as we see, as what happens in this movie, ends up saving life, saving the souls. You know, in this movie, actually saving the lives of all these creatures, because the Christ sees value in all life, sees that divine spark in creation. And the highest value for the Christ figure is awakening that spark within creation. So we don't totally see that in this movie, but that's the Gnostic tale. But yeah, with all that's going on in the world, again, timely themes. Some say that Hollywood puts these themes out there in your face to prepare you for what's coming. And I think I've seen enough of that to make a good argument for that. And this is what we see in Guardians of the Galaxy. Again, we see the theme of genetic modification. Another book I'm reading right now is Bruce Lipton's Biology of Belief, classic book in human potential. And it goes right into this argument that, you know, again, those who are looking at everything being in the DNA as it is are not looking at the expression of the DNA, how the DNA reads the environment, and the importance of the interpretation from the environment is, as opposed to the DNA itself. And those mad scientists, again, like the high evolutionary, don't even look at this at all. They don't look at the environmental influence on DNA. They strictly look at the DNA itself and are obsessed with making the perfect strand. And we've seen that this tale ends badly over and over again because it's a very myopic view of life. But it's part of what I've found, the human soul, of awakening to consciousness. This is all part, these tales, these myths, these stories that we've seen since the beginning of time are part of the one consciousness remembering itself through this condition of duality. And it's one of the many plays of good and evil that consciousness needs the condition of to remember itself in this life as we know it. So that being said, I'm going to end this transmission. Be strong, be well. I'll see you on the other side, my friends.